So a question I often get asked is whether or not you need to wear a weightlifting belt when strength training. And the short answer is no, you don't. But it's important to understand how a weightlifting belt could potentially benefit you in the weight room, under the bar, when prioritizing the lifting of heavier loads. Understand that a weightlifting belt is simply a proprioceptive cue. It's going to allow you to more effectively set a brace. But in order to effectively set a brace with a belt, you have to be able to set one effectively in the absence of a belt. And in order to do that, you have to know how to efficiently and effectively employ a breathing technique known as a Valsalva maneuver. Now, the Valsalva maneuver, which I've covered in another video that I can provide a link to if needed, is a breathing technique that is going to create 360-degree diaphragmatic pressure, intra-abdominal pressure, that is going to present circumferential cylindrical support to the spine under load, basically mitigating risk of injury when you are lifting significant weights relative to your individual physical capacity. However, if you don't already know how to employ this breathing technique, if you are not familiar with the Valsalva maneuver, the belt in and of itself does not protect against damage to the spine. The belt alone does not mitigate risk of injury. In the absence of this breathing technique, the belt is little more than a fashion statement. Now, that being said, the belt is not mandatory to mitigate risk of injury, understanding that it's actually the Valsalva maneuver that is mitigating the risk of injury most dramatically. But a belt, being a proprioceptive cue, will improve the effectiveness of your brace. And it might be a useful tool for some lifters when working with their maximal loads. It is worth noting, however, that significant feats of strength throughout history have been managed without a belt. Incredible weights lifted on deadlifts, incredible feats of strength in the strongman world have been achieved without the use of a belt. And a lot of lifters, amateurs and professionals alike, prefer to train and compete without one. And part of the reason why is because for some lifters, the belt gets in the way through the execution of the lift and proves to be a hindrance more than it proves to benefit the lifter. That's why sometimes you'll see lifters who employ the belt on a squat, however not on the deadlift, or vice versa as per their lifting preference. Some not at all, some always. So that being said, the belt can be an incredibly useful tool should you understand that it's only useful when combined with the Valsalva maneuver. But it is not a tool that is mandatory, and you can still lift safely and lift significantly heavy loads relative to your individual physical capacity without a belt, should you become well versed in advance with the Valsalva maneuver.